So before we start customizing our shell, we're going to want to make sure that our customizations are reproducible and live in source control. So let's make a repository for that now. Go to wherever you keep your code. For me, that's just code in my home directory, and create a new directory called dotfiles. Then cd into that directory and initialize git repository straight away. Then I'm going to create an install script. This is going to link all the dotfiles that live in this repo to our home directory. I do a lot of echoing in my scripts because I like to provide a lot of feedback to myself. I'm going to be using Z shell because it's my favorite shell, and now it's also the default in macOS. Next, I'm just going to remove my existing .zshrc and use the ln command to link the one in this repository to the one in my home directory. Next, I'll give myself permissions to execute this script, but now it's failing because I haven't actually written my new profile yet. Let's write one really quickly. I'm just going to add one of my most commonly used aliases, aliasing L to ls-al. ls-al will include files that start with a dot and give me a detailed list, which is the view I usually want. It looks like my install script works, but I got an error removing .zshrc because it didn't exist yet. This didn't break anything, although it is annoying me a bit, so I want to pop into my install file and make sure that I only delete it if it already exists. And I'll go ahead and just remove it manually to be sure what I did works. But now on to the next problem. I can't run my L command yet. My changes haven't been sourced. I can do a little shell inception here and run zshell from zshell, and now I can see my command exists. Part of this exercise, though, is to make new customizations as seamless as possible, so let's make our next customization do exactly that. I'm going to edit my profile again and write a function called reprofile that will source my profile again. And of course, I'll write some confirmation that it worked. Then I'll write an edit zsh command that'll pop into my editor and run reprofile when it's done. You can replace VI with the terminal editor of your choice, but running reprofile on exit's only going to work if you're using a terminal-based editor. Let's try this out. I'll do some zshell inception again to reload my profile, and hopefully for the last time. Then I'll edit zsh, and I'll add a new alias. I'll add an alias to go up a directory just by doing ... instead of having to type cd ... I exit and bam, I have confirmation that my .files were reloaded. Let's try typing ... and there I am, I'm back one directory. Great, now I'll go back to my .files, and I think we have enough to make a git commit out of. Let me pop over to my GitHub profile, and I'll make a new repository. This will be available at github.com/ignu/.files-example if you would like to reference it. I'll just go ahead and add the remote and push to it. And there we have it, a .files repo that is effortless to make changes to, backed up on GitHub, and easy to install on new machines.